Hello, Key Biscayne. It is Monday, June 17th, 2019, and this is the No One's Listening Show, episode 154. I'm your host, Rafa, and I am here with the excellent panel on the perch today. To my left is the very new to the show, Austin is here.
Woo! Hi, Austin.
Hello.
To his left is retiring from the show, but only temporarily. He's going on vacation, a really long one. His name is Billy.
Hi, everyone.
To his left, the ever fabulous. She's going on vacation too, to Paris, of all places. It's Lenny.
Hey, guys.
And to her left, always fabulous, also, but not going on any vacations.
Not
it's Anna.
Hi, guys. Hi, Key Biscayne. I missed you. I feel like I've been gone for a long time.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's been a little while, yeah. Okay, let's start how we always start. It's called Weekend Talk. I want to hear all about it. I'll tell you one thing that happened. I don't know if you guys know TJ Morrell. Works at NOAA. He lives on this street, or on Galen, right here in the Garden District. He got engaged on Friday. A little surprise engagement at the beach park. It was lovely. I just want to give him a shout out there. I don't think he listens, but whatever. There you go.
Love wins again.
Did you guys do anything this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh?
Duh.
We went to the Portela Fish Fry. I
Oh.
saw you there.
How was it?
It was awesome. The band, Esco, was there, which was so much fun. I danced and sweat my butt off because it was hot and not an ounce of wind. But it was great. It was a lot of fun.
And
right?
who won the tournament? Do we know?
Oh, that I don't know. Do you know?
I have no idea.
I didn't pay attention enough.
There's a lot of prizes, so I don't know if there's an overall winner.
Everybody wins.
That's
well,
right.
there's somebody who catches the most fish. You know?
Well, yeah. Is it
I
most
mean,
fish
then
or
there
biggest
are,
fish?
Then there are participation trophies.
Is it most fish or biggest fish?
I don't
Most
know.
biggest. Oh.
I have no clue.
Well, but nobody knows either, so it doesn't really matter.
But it's always an awesome event.
It's
and-
always a good party.
Yeah, it's wonderful, and they put a good show together. It was fun.
I like it, but I missed it. So
You
yeah.
missed a good one because it was really, really fun. Lots. Rafa even danced with me, I think.
Did I?
I don't know.
I think
I
I
don't
did.
I vaguely remember.
I do not think I did. I remember they ran out of tequila. That hurt.
Yes.
And I don't know. I saw it was like a little Key Rat family reunion over there because I saw everybody who I hadn't seen in years because I didn't go last year. So, yeah, it was a nice little thing. And to see all the young gun Key Rats who I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
fun. You're
that's
feeling old, Rafa, finally?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't know a lot of the kids, so that's interesting.
Well, kids these days, they're just turning up for fishing tournaments, all across the country. And I don't know if they're doing it ironically. I don't really know what's going on, but, it's nice because that's a nice key tradition. I missed it because I was at the Sunshine State Cluster.
What?
What's that?
What is that?
My dad went to dog showing with my sister, who won 2 ribbons.
Oh.
2 ribbons, correct?
So a cluster, for those of you who don't know what it is a collection of dog shows put on by different dog clubs that is an efficient way to get prizes for your show dog. So we
cool.
drove to Tampa, which I don't think I'd ever been before, and which was, I'll say, at least semi-interesting. And
That's hilarious.
and we showed a friend's dog, a Havanese dog, which we also own, and it was it was like the movie Best in Show for those who know that, but in like a fun, fine way.
Fun Florida way.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are kind of like people who do those kind of things. They're more aware that there's sort of a little bit of silliness to it than you would think, but they also are capable of taking it absolutely seriously at the same time. So they've resolved their cognitive dissonance about the whole thing in what seems to me to be an incredibly healthy way and something that really the rest of society could learn a lot from. So that's what I was doing this weekend.
Cluster.
What kind of dog do you have?
Well, we have a Havanese dog.
Oh.
We have so many dogs. We have an older Havanese dog. We have a Havanese puppy, and then we have a rescue. But we weren't showing any of them. We were showing someone else's Havanese dog.
We're showing Mrs. Ambrose's dog.
Yeah, because that's how Gus has real superstar potential, but he has.
How does that work? That you're showing someone else's dog? Did they ask you
everybody
to?
is
Did
showing
you
someone
ask
else's
them to?
dog.
Oh, you don't show your own dog?
There's a separate category if you show your own dog. Most dogs are shown by at this level, at the level of the
didn't know
Sunshine State
that.
Cluster, are shown by professional handlers.
Wow.
Really?
And look,
Fancy.
it's all stuff to learn about. And once you start doing it, people talk to you like you know about it already. You know those kind of
Interesting.
things. Like
That's
once you're there, they
hilarious.
figure you know.
That's so
Which,
funny.
well, it's like a lot of things, like boating. I mean, a lot of
Right,
things
right.
like
Yeah,
that. And so, and because I'm like that, I sort of pretend like I do know to see what I can get away with. And,
you know the lingo
truth
and
is
everything.
There's some gaps in my
Hilarious.
knowledge.
Did you win?
Well, yeah. Yeah, she got 2 ribbons.
Good.
And one of them was she was competing only against herself.
Yeah.
But look,
That's hilarious.
listen,
So it
that's
sounds
the
like a
most
fish
important
fry
kind of
ribbon.
competition.
She's like, I win.
And the second one, she's a child, of course, my daughter, and she was competing against a adult with a dog, and I'm not sure what this person made of it, but my daughter won. So.
That's
awesome.
nice. That's awesome.
That's great.
Cool.
Cool. Anna, how about you?
I had a really great weekend.
What, you did nothing? You stayed home in the rain?
No, I did some stuff. But most importantly, what I did was I got invited to a dinner that was something I've never been invited to. I don't know. I've never been invited to a dinner like this, where the couple gets pleasure from like really showing off their knowledge of good wine and good food, and invite you over, like 6 people total, and make this beautiful dinner, like 5-course meal with different wine pairings for each meal, each serving, each course, whatever. And it was so fantastic. They had a printed menu.
Wow, fancy.
They had a printed menu, and I brought it home and I showed Rafa on Sunday. And we were distracted because someone's driving around. Is it a grape tree?
Is that your
That
tree?
is someone leaving
That's
our
your plant.
house with one of our plants.
That's why I just said that.
If I knew, I would have bought that one.
I was gonna buy it.
man.
Let's explain to the listener what just happened.
But no, I don't want to. Well, because it's a bigger subject. But yeah, go ahead and explain.
A golf cart just rode past
Yeah,
with a fig tree,
tree.
if I'm not...
It is a
No,
fig
it's a
tree.
real tree.
It's
No,
a fig
fig,
tree.
fig.
Fig, F-I-G.
Oh, yeah.
A fig tree that must be like 6.5 feet
I almost
tall.
bought it. It was too
Sticking
expensive.
out. Looks great, but I knew also that it came from Billy's house, so
Yeah,
it's
I
funny
saw
to
that.
see it right
Funnier.
now.
I wanted
Yeah.
that tree.
And
I was telling my story and I got distracted. I was like, I don't know what I ate anymore.
I'm sorry, Anna. So
No, that was worth it.
because
It
we're
was
kind of
worth-
burying the lead.
So tell us about this dinner.
Whatever, it was awesome. It had like foie gras, it had amazing cheeses, and had palate cleansers, it had different wines, and it was fantastic. And they're a super interesting couple. The guy's an architect, the woman's a photographer. He's an architect, but also
He plays the
he's like
flute?
part French, part Native American, part everything, and he plays Native American flute beautifully. Has played at the Met in New
Oh,
York,
wow.
like for a thing, and played for us at the end of the dinner.
Was it awkward?
No, I was
Okay.
all about it, especially because it was me and 3 other people who work in the arts also. So we were like,
Okay.
like clapping,
Okay.
and
All right.
but it was, books came out about Native American history that he was the author for. A book that I edited came out. It was a very
Cool.
everybody was very fifi about it. The whole thing
Sounds very grown up.
The food was fantastic, and the wine was. I don't know if I'll ever drink that well again. It was so beautiful, but and then I went to the corner and got a little fun drunk.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say. I don't know why. I had a few martinis,
There
and
you go.
Rafa came.
Yeah.
There you go.
And the rest of the weekend, honestly, yesterday was incredible. That rain
Oh,
all
I'm so
day,
happy it was raining.
dark.
Yes, thank
I
you.
spent it indoors all day. Yeah, it was awesome.
It was wonderful.
Austin
I loved
did not
it.
have fun yesterday.
It was like my mom was driving through, and then a car was coming by. The streets are like flooded up to near my knees.
Yeah, no, there was definitely flooding.
And then my mom
She got splashed or what?
She cusses because this guy drives by at full speed and water. You can literally, my window was a tiny bit open.
Oh,
You can just see a little bit of water coming through. I closed it up though, and then you can see all the water just like coming over the windshield.
And so your mom probably couldn't see anything when
That
I was
was
driving.
My mom was just like,
I can't see. That must have been.
What the hell just
Oh,
happened?
whoa!
But that's a key foul, right? I mean, on
for
our
sure.
narrow
Driving
streets,
fast,
driving
and a
Driving
puddle.
fast,
Yeah,
That's
especially
called-
like Lake
big water.
Allendale or one of those giant puddles that emerges for
Yeah.
for different reasons. You know, you gotta.
Yeah,
We used to call
slow
that
down.
giving them the Hialeah car wash.
Yeah.
One time we were coming back from the Grove, and you know that turn? You're on Bayshore. You're about to make that right before you make the right again into the toll.
Right.
And we were in like high school, 7, I think we were like 18, 19 or something. And we're in Bob's car, and we're driving down that street. I remember perfectly. It was so flooded. That turn gets really flooded, and we were in Bob's Explorer, and he just floors it right through it. And we look left, and there's a guy with all his windows down, and it just goes
man.
like right through. And then we make he's waiting at the light, and we make the right and just keep going, man.
Horrible.
Yeah. Not,
Hey, by
but
the way,
also really
it's a
funny.
bigger subject, but not that right turn, but the next right turn that leads you on to the toll booths. What is going on with the lights and signage on that?
That
Can
was
you
a
make
weird
the right?
one.
Can you
That
make
was
the
a
right?
weird
yes,
one.
you can have right.
Yeah.
You can make a
I
right.
think you can.
Yes,
but
you
some
can.
people stop, and I blow my
Wait,
horn. and
Crandon
they
and Harbor?
No, coming into the key, the
before
toll.
The right turn into
Oh,
at the toll.
when people stop there, I throw fit. I mean,
Me
that's
too.
absurd.
Yeah,
There's
I-
no cars. Like, that's
I
absurd.
do too, but
You can do
but-
right on red
But it's confusing.
As
But
long
you-
as there's not a pedestrian in the on the walkway.
No,
But
I don't
you
even
can-
think
no,
you
no.
have to stop.
I don't
on
think
red.
you
even have to
stop.
It's
No,
not
you
right
don't.
on red. I
It's
think
made
a
so you
go
don't
right
have to
through.
stop.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to watch out. Make sure there's a pedestrian, in the middle of the street there. That's the
Yeah.
only thing.
Well, a pedestrian or
Or a
in
bike.
right there, a bike. Yeah.
The bike, when they cross on that green, green, I don't know what it's called. That
The
green
bike lane?
Bike, sure. That gets confusing. It does for a driver. It barely happens, but when it does, it's like, oh God, where are you? I can't.
It is confusing. But I say
Bad
keep going.
driver.
Take that right.
Anyway, that's your weekend and some other stuff. Let's keep going so we can get to the other stuff. What are you guys listening to? As always, let's hear it or not. You don't have to
this
play
is-
it. We didn't play it last week. Let me just tell you.
This goes from the weekend into this. I was going to say Les Nubes. We went to see them play on Thursday night, and it was pretty good. And I don't know how this works, but they also got Best Band at the Miami New Times.
Oh, yeah.
Best New Band, Best Local Band. I don't know. But they are pretty awesome. I really enjoyed the show on Thursday night. I was not going to pick them. Of course you did. Good. Why don't you give it?
My pick?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this band, they released their album on Thursday, Miami band called Las Nubes. The song I pick is called Deposit Slip. The album's called Smut with a V instead of a U. And
Is that how you pronounce it? I was always like SMVT.
I mean, it could be SMVT, but I'm pretty sure it's. I mean,
I like
it reads,
smut better.
Yeah, it reads smut. So it sounds like It sounds kind of like a little throwback to some '90s stuff, but it still sounds contemporary. It sounds like this. So you get a little feel for
good.
it.
It definitely
Grungy,
sounds 90s.
grungy,
Yeah.
all girls.
All girls.
Yeah.
I really like the singer's voice for the music. It's really good. So check that out. Las Nubes, best band in Miami according to the New Times this year.
Cool.
And
Yep.
they're on tour. So
Cool.
check them out.
I don't have anything queued up really, but just listen to Fish. Anything Fish. I've just on that new station that just came out on what is that thing? Yeah, on what do you call it? Satellite radio.
Oh.
It's the Fish station. It's
Oh, yeah.
all
That's
Fish, and it's jamming, and I love it.
That's
So
hilarious.
have some fun this summer. Listen to some jam bands, and that's one of them. Fish.
All right.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And Austin, what have you been listening to? Which music?
Do you have a song?
I'll listen to XXX Tentacion, a song Moonlight, and then Hope by XXX.
All right.
Nice.
Cool.
I'm excited to look it up.
The young crowd. Well, wasn't he shot?
Yeah.
Did he
Die?
He
Here-
was shot
here
when
in
he
Miami.
was in his Lamborghini.
Recently.
No, like a year ago, I
Okay.
think.
Yeah.
So then he was just like driving out of a concert, and 2 people shot him.
Wow, that's sad because I heard his stuff and it's really
It
good.
was here in Broward.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was, and then people on the day, I think, cops didn't show up till like a day after.
What?
Well,
I have to look that up.
I don't know, but
I can't keep up with you all in music. I keep saying, like, have you heard this band, the Beatles? So I also late to the game as I am with music. I started listening to podcasts a while ago when I was in LA, and there are two that I like a lot. One is Chapo Trap House, which everybody knows about. It's not original, but the other is Red Scare, and they're both lefty critiques of liberalism largely. I mean, they're sort of cultural and so forth. And
interesting.
And so they don't talk about Donald Trump and micro scandals and all that kind of thing. They're sort of avowed socialists, but Red Scandal is two women, and they're kind of anti-feminist, and they're sort of and their take on politics and on things like abortion and all that is I find it really interesting. I don't agree with a lot of it, but it's kind of refreshing in the current, what seems like sort of frozen dialectic between, sort of liberalism and reaction. So Red Scare, highly recommended. I think you'll find it stimulating. They're pretty funny. They're really smart, and their references are all the kind of things that if you don't know what they are, you'll kind of look them up afterwards.
Cool. I'm going to look them up.
Neat.
That sounds really cool.
I've been listening to this album called Color Green by Sybil Bayer. I had never really heard of her, but these recordings are from 1970 to 1973, but the album was released in 2006, and the song I want to choose is called Tonight. She's German, but she's singing English, and it's
Cool.
amazing. Yeah.
You're going to play it for us or no?
Oh, sure.
No, you don't have to.
Oh, I want to.
Oh, okay.
When I came home from work, hurt tonight.
I've been listening to
Pretty.
kind of slow music lately.
It's pretty.
Someone commented on Facebook, said, boo
Really?
to my depre music, but I like it. So whatever.
I mean, it's pretty chill music.
You like it, Austin?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
pretty chill.
nice.
Yeah.
It's
Her
nice.
voice is
Especially
beautiful.
on a day like this. It's cloudy and kind of rainy.
Yeah.
It's like
It's nice.
nice to listen to that kind of music.
All right. Well, that's what you're listening to. We got everybody, right?
Yep, we did.
All right. Not paying attention. Okay. It is Monday, June 17th, 2019. It's the No One's Listening Show, episode 154. I'm here with the excellent panel of myself, Austin, Billy, Lenny, and
You forgot me already, Rafa?
I forgot
Dude, I
your
was
name.
gone like 2 weeks in a row and you forgot who I
I was
am.
about to call you like Tommy or something. Okay.
Great, thanks, Rafa.
Tommy.
All right, so let's move on to the Talk O Town. What's going on in the Key? Got a couple things here. But my favorite, and this is something we've mentioned before, is this headline that came out. It was a little interview with them. The Key Biscayne Men's Group is meeting, I think, weekly on the island. And the Key Biscayne Men's Group is something that we've talked about here a long time ago when they put ads in the paper and the classifieds, like Key Biscayne Men's Group meeting or whatever.
Okay, what do they talk about?
They talk about the boys.
Have you
the
been?
boys got to be boys.
Have you been to this men's group meeting?
It's
You
a-
should go for
no,
research.
I have not,
You
but I
have to
read
go
the
for research.
article.
It's weekly,
Okay.
do it.
And they said that it's like a little emotional support, a little bit of like, hey, don't worry, things will be all right, you know?
Are these men married or not married?
Yeah, so they're married, they have kids, and
Is
it's
it
like,
anonymous?
man, my life is rough. My
wife is mean.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know. They say
What's
yeah.
going
Life
on?
is hard.
And so they have a place there to get together. I will tell you this:
What?
that they are. The guy who runs the group is like
Religious.
in his 80s.
Oh.
Okay.
Or 70s or something. So,
So-
I think it tends upwards in the age demographic.
Is
So-
it just a chapter of the Ass Club?
No.
But wait, are you like opposed to this? Do you view it as sinister? Why is this risen to the level of your notice?
Oh, because I think it's hilarious.
Because the picture is
But I
funny
mean,
too. In
Okay,
the ad.
so Key Biscayne has I believe it has a men's only AA group.
Well, that's
which I think
different.
is relatively
That's
Okay.
different.
But why is it different? Because it's there's something about finding support for the struggles that people have in AA with other people who are also of your sex, which
That's true.
people find somehow works for them. And I have to say we've done it with we've had it at our house with Austin, and we do it for the men in our church. at St. Christopher's. And I can't describe it as a breakthrough, but I'd also say that it was like it was fine. It was another way to dissect the key and the all the different 12,000 people here. So I
think
know.
it's fine. I don't share in Rafa's opinion of his laughing about it, but I think I do think.
But maybe it's ridiculous. But go. You don't even know anything about it.
I was going to say.
I do have to say, I do find the photograph that they use for the ad is funny. It's a little cheesy.
It's not an ad. It's a press.
All right, so I'll look up the photo. And I'll see
It's
what
not
we're
an
all
ad?
talking
What is it?
about.
No, what I was going to say is like, Billy, man, what you just said is not funny at all.
No, of course, AA and the whole thing.
Trying to have a laugh here about some
Well,
men. The boys are going to be boys.
But is that like the most ridiculous Key Biscayne?
no, it's not.
Microcosm?
I just
I
think
know.
it's funny. Like, I mean,
I want you to go, Rafa,
technically I'm in
and
a men's
report.
group. I mean, like, the Calusa Club is all men.
Right.
And
So-
originally started with the premise, the thing that it was only going to be men because, I don't know, some of the members thought that was important.
So there's the onion.
You thought that was
there's
important?
the onion,
Some of the
onion
members.
you want to peel. What is the Calusa Club?
Good question.
What is the
It's a
Calusa
secret
Club?
and what- I mean, I
society.
know
a men's
there are
club.
events,
It's a
and
men's club.
We know some members, but are there like initiation rituals? How do you become a member? And
So-
do you pay dues? I mean, and what are you all up to?
I will
Because
tell
have some
you
questions
this.
about that.
The Calusa Club started as follows. A group of friends were tired of everybody giving out, late night, I got this great idea, we should definitely do this, and then we would never do it. So we said, let's form an official club so that when somebody proposes something, we all have to actually respond and get moving and do something about it. Okay? And it did help to
Example.
motivate that. So any of these events that we do were always pipe dreams that we said that we would do, and then once we finally had the club going, it was like, okay, one guy spearheads it. There's leaders and there's people who are more workers or whatever. But once somebody says, "Hey, you got to do this," you're indebted to the group. Are there dues? Yes, there are. Every time we meet, we pay $10 into the.
And wait.
Fund.
And where do you? How many members? Where do you meet?
How do you join?
Secret handshake.
There are-
Something with a chicken and whipped cream. tell me.
Let me check
Gotta
out
chug
how
a
many
beer.
members there are. There are officially 6 members and one that quit already. Okay.
And the criteria is, do you have to be a key
It
rat?
started 6 members deep.
Well, that's number one.
Well, I don't know if that's even true anymore because the men of the group all got girlfriends, and now they're like, oh, let's bring the girlfriends out to every
So
meeting
they
we
can get
have.
stuff done?
I don't know.
This happened to the Three
was never-
Stooges.
it was never big on-
by the way, in a legendary episode about the He-Man Woman Haters Club, which all fell apart when I think Curly got a girlfriend.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So the same thing in our group. I was the one who was like, why are we? No, I was like, why don't we want women in this group? I mean, I'm sure they could help us do stuff, and they were like, nah, because it's like blah blah blah. And then suddenly they all got girlfriends, and then it was like, hey, well, if she's at the
hilarious.
meeting, it's no big deal, right?
Why would they bring someone into the meeting that's not in the club?
Because the club is very informal. So
It
let me
just
tell
cracks
you.
me up. You're talking about,
That's
and then
absurd.
these guys, and it's only 6 of you. So it's
Yeah,
like,
6 of you.
you could just say who it was.
It's 6 of us, and then we added a 7th member, and then one of the original members got out, and he was a person who, from the beginning, wanted to start his own men's support group, which is
There you
funny.
go.
He actually phrased it as men's support group, but
There
we
you
were
go.
like, we don't really need a men's support group. We just want to do
To hang out,
events.
You
play
guys should have given him
cornhole.
that if he asked for it.
So, but back, I mean, Key Biscayne has a women's club
Yeah.
that does
I didn't
various
know that.
charitable things. And did it ever have a men's club? Do you know, like an old
There
school
has to
kinda-
have been.
like back in the day.
It was never really a men's club, but they always have like what is it, like the, oh my God, not the men's club, but it's
Well, like Lions Club is all
Lions
men.
Club, right? Lions Club and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was the men's
I
club.
assume the veterans of foreign wars are most of them.
Anyway, interesting. You should join the men's club and see what's up, Rafa.
I don't know if I need that in my life. I don't need a men's support
Sounds
group.
like you do.
Oh,
Just
you,
kidding.
you may be singing a different tune once you go.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to open up so many
I
things
think
for
you
you.
should go, Rafa. They might not
Ralph,
let you
I
in
will
now.
dress up as a man and go with you and hold your hand through the process. Let's do this.
A men's support group. I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
All
Do
right.
you think
Okay.
a woman's support group is funny? That's the question.
Less funny.
Why?
because women are more prone to want to do stuff like that. Not that they need it more, but they are much more to get together to do things like that. You get what I mean? So
Or maybe it's just an excuse for you guys to get together, have a couple beers, and talk about football or something. I don't know. Do you think it's something like support?
Don't you have social groups in your life that sort of default to men? Or, I don't know. I mean, what do you think about, like, dare I say, sort of our group of people? Like, I feel like at a lot of social events, it's men and women, but the men kind of wind up with the men, and the women kind of wind up with the women.
It happens everywhere.
Sort of old, like it was in like the 50s.
You got to sit them boy girl, because if not, they won't do it themselves.
My mom sometimes asks me if it still happens, and I'm like, it does.
Yes, it does.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Men's group.
So everything's a men's group, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Every party, whatever.
I'm not a sports fan, so I sometimes feel like kind of the odd person out in those groupings because I can't really talk about that kind of stuff. But I've tried to come up with a couple male key topics.
So the Calusa Club only has one sports fan out of the six. Seven.
But so I've never been asked to join, which is kind of where I was pushing this discussion.
Oh, so is that what we? What
Billy,
we
that
noticed
might be
is
an age
that
bracket thing. Sorry.
this is the problem. The Calusa, no, it has nothing to do with that.
I'm just kidding.
The Calusa Club.
So how old is your oldest member?
36.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
But it's got nothing to do with that. The what?
Nothing.
Oh, the
Austin was going to ask about youngest member.
the youngest member might be
34.
32 or something.
Okay, so you've got kind of everything. You've got people from age 32 to 35 or 36.
Nothing past 40,
you got
below
that
32.
cross-section.
Look, we tried to
already.
get members in that we thought might want to actually participate, and we just have a hard time finding anybody because there's no benefit to being in the group, and it's just work. So since we don't have
but you're a social service organization. So look, every one of these institutions on the island more or less says the same thing. I don't know if I know any Lions, but I know American Legion members. I know people in Rotary. I know that, and they all have trouble getting younger people interested in what they do. I mean, it's an old story, but what you're doing isn't totally different, right? I mean, you get together and you put on these events. You try to benefit the island. I mean, you're not going to call yourself the Elks or join the Lions, but you're doing a version of the same thing.
Yeah, and we want a clubhouse. That's the other thing. But I don't know if we'll ever get there.
Oh, boy, you picked the right place real estate price-wise.
Well, moving on, that takes us to our next topic, which is, well, I talked last week about how real estate prices are dropping on the island. But now, yesterday, Anna and I took a walk around the square and the Galleria. The amount of vacant storefronts.
It was surprising.
It was
Yeah.
surprising.
It was
there are
more
a
than
lot
the
of
usual.
empty spaces in
Right.
both those
well,
buildings.
this is such a great topic. This is on my list, too.
Oh.
They're a little different. One of them has largely condos. Not that it's any better, but, retail faces significant, what word people use a lot as challenges, I call it problems, on the Key, thanks to things like Amazon, thanks to the difficulty of local labor, thanks to the lack of affordable housing. But one thing I've started to think about, it's not an original idea to me at all, is that one way we might make the Key a more sustainable place from an ecological standpoint and also just a better community is to try to develop a plan, and maybe this is something in the agenda for the 2040 Commission, which I think you're on, Lenny, is just to revamp our commercial real estate, because a lot of it is badly out of date, and it has that strange phenomenon, which I'll never forget from the first time I got to Key Biscayne, which is of people sitting out on cafe tables overlooking a parking lot,
Right.
which I just didn't get it. I was like, is this something imported from another culture? But putting the parking underground, revamping that would be an interesting way to look at kind of some of the bigger issues on the Key that I don't think has been brought up a great deal.
Right.
Where were we? I think we went to North Miami a couple weeks ago for some sort of event, and we were like, "Why does it?" Remember the little square that had that event?
Oh yeah.
And we were like, "Why doesn't the Key have something like this?"
What was it? What did it look like?
It was storefronts, just like the malls here. Okay, but instead of parking right in front, they had like a pedestrian kind of
thing
space
and a park in front of the
and
stores.
a park in front of the stores,
Okay.
so that you're not overlooking.
Well, I mean, if you put the
At
parking,
least the parking lot somewhere
underground
else.
in the square in the Galleria, you might discourage people from driving, but that also has a benefit, right? On the key. I mean, we should be trying to get people. It's unpopular, maybe, but we should do that. And you can't find certain kinds of businesses on the key. You can't run them properly. I talked to Mitch Kaplan at Books and Books. I was there the other day, and I said, "Hey, has anybody ever talked to you about opening a bookstore in Key Biscayne?"
And what did he say?
He said, "Yes, but it would have to be subsidized."
Yeah.
So, it's a bookstore. Understandably, the margins are slender, and the real estate's expensive. So, and that's true of a lot of kinds of businesses. But, there's subsidized and subsidized. I don't think we're going to take up a collection to run the bookstore, but subsidized means getting the community excited about it when it comes, and also,
but where would you put it that people would want to go that's not in front of a parking lot?
Well, you can't do, what's the cart and what's the horse, or are they completely unrelated?
They are
So
unrelated.
you can also talk about what's the inventory of retail that we have at the moment.
Someone has to have
what you can run here.
Big idea. They have to buy the Galleria and knock it down and redo it as something
With a
actually
courtyard in the middle.
interesting. That's one way of going about it.
The best spots are at the square and the corner corner little square areas, because then you're not overlooking cars. You're kind of like closed in. And we took a look at what used to be New York Pizza, what was then Puntino Pizza, whatever.
Right.
And I said, it was all closed, and it was kind of like boarded up. It had cardboard, whatever. And I got on a chair and peeked in. They got rid of the pizza oven, which I was so excited to propose another pizza shop. But that's not happening. And they torn down the wall with the next door, Bianco. It used to be
really?
Bianco,
The ice
and it's going to
cream
be one
place?
place. Yeah. So, but those are the only spots that have these comfortable little areas for sitting in.
The famous L'Esplanade, which lost its apostrophe a while ago and became L'Esplanade, does have underground parking and, is sort of semi-interesting from a design standpoint.
Yeah.
But nobody's opening a restaurant there because the foot traffic is, if anything, even worse.
No, it's because you can't see it from the street.
Right.
Yeah.
No one knows it's there.
Yeah.
So Manny just called. Manny just called. Do you want to go on air, Manny? Say hello. I have you on.
Yeah, put me on.
There you are. You're on.
Hey, Manny.
What's going on, everybody?
Hi.
How are you?
I understand that Billy Kimball and Austin Kimball are on the show tonight.
Yes, they are.
Billy, I just wanted to just a quick shout out. We're going to miss you. Billy is Key Biscayne's own version of Wikipedia. Billy knows. I would say a little bit about everything, but I'd say a lot about a lot of things. So, Billy, you got to promise to stay on all the chats.
Yes, please.
Please. Please.
Well, I'm moving somewhere without chats. Los Angeles.
Or, you know what? And it might be fun if you can squeeze Rafa in, maybe. Actually, Lenny likes to be on every chat. Put her in a couple of those LA chats.
I'll look it up. I'll ask my brother.
I mean, look, Manny, you're very sweet, and I want to. I want to. Maybe we'll get there in a little bit if we get to sports. But I also want to thank you and congratulate you for another terrific baseball season and for everything you do in Key Biscayne. The question for us, and we didn't mention it, but we're leaving Key Biscayne after I told everybody what they needed to do with their commercial real estate. I'm heading out of town. We're moving back to LA, and but I can't decide. I mean, should I come back? And I'm not fishing for this. It's just almost a philosophical question. Or should I keep Biscayne like Brigadoon or Shangri-La in my mind and keep you all the same age you are?
Forever.
I love it. I like that idea.
Now forever, which would be hard because I would miss you, but you would all be forever young, and Key Biscayne would never change. And maybe that's what would make me happiest.
Manny says you and us both.
You and us both. You'd be basically just dropping the mic. I'm out of here. Boom, and that's it. You're gone. So, by the way, I want to invite everybody to Billy and Alexandra's surprise going away party on Friday. Friday night in front of the Oceana Beach Path. We're having a surprise birthday party. It's a surprise. Don't tell anybody. For Billy and Alexandra, and I guess the kids too, right?
Yeah, kids are welcome to my surprise party, which I know nothing about. And there's talk of a bonfire, and I did see the fire chief today, and he's going to try to make it. So I'm not sure if how easily those things are reconciled, but I think it's all going to be okay. And sure,
awesome. And
if you're
is Austin there? Is he doing any of the talking tonight? Because
he just went back inside. Man, he started sort of wandering. You have kids, so. Yeah, he's gone to do something. It might involve the bathroom.
Well,
it might involve the iPad.
At least your kids hang out with you, Billy. So keep up the good work.
That's right. So far,
I think I'm seeing a glimpse of the future.
That's right. We'll see you Friday night. And remember,
I couldn't be there tonight. Greetings from Boston.
It's BYOB. Bring your own beer, booze, and what?
Cups.
Blanket. I knew it was like 3 B's.
Towel.
And bucks.
BYOB. I'm gonna bring my own Billy.
There you go,
right.
Bobby.
All right, we'll see you Friday then. Have fun in Boston.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
All right, thanks for calling.
Cheers, Manny.
I love it.
All right, so, but do you have any ideas about the? Okay, so we were talking about the L'Esplanade.
That's been a disaster since the day it was born. By the way,
but rents are super high in there. If they were cheaper, you could open something.
Well, that's the issue. Rents are super high everywhere.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, and I think that people who are trying to get their visas are having a harder time, so they're not opening their little fake stores that they do to get their visa. So I think that's what's happening too.
But I want to express some sympathy. I don't think Look, I think the problem. I think it's difficult to run a retail business, and I think it's also difficult to run a shopping center here. You know,
it has to be something special, like really special.
And my wife worked on the Brentwood Country Mart and the Malibu Country Mart, for those people who are familiar with that. And that's something with like a real strong concept, with where they'll charge a different rent to a bookstore than they will to a restaurant or a clothing store, in an effort to have a retail mix. But I mean, come on, that's an act of business philanthropy, and that's not a realistic expectation for, I think, somebody who's a commercial property owner here.
Right. Yeah, well,
I think it's tough. I really
here's
do.
Some realistic stuff. There's stuff in the square that we saw that's been vacant since like January.
Since January, yeah.
And they keep them like that. I mean, I guess they're holding out, but
to seeing those
how many months do you have to go
till you go broke?
Missing out on rent before you lower the price.
Right.
I
don't know. That burger place I heard is doing great, by the way.
Oh, really?
One thing I noticed also is that all the cheaper places, like the really casual stuff, is doing gangbusters, and the more frou-frou little visa projects don't last.
Then we'll see how free the market is for real estate in Key Biscayne, because that should just correct by virtue of supply and demand.
Yeah.
But I'd love to know that there's a lot of demand. I love to know that a lot of these innovative businesses that we don't have here already are saying, boy, I can't afford $15,000 a month, but if you let me open up, I can pay you $12,000 a month.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure those discussions are happening.
It'll bring more people to the shopping center, and more traffic for the others. Something needs to give there. And I love your idea about underground parking, making it more greener space, and for everything. Actually, the village needs more green space by law, so that's another thing to talk about.
But if you go to dinner or at a restaurant in one of those shopping centers, and you decide, well, you know what, I'm in the mood for a batik beach wrap. Right? You walk around, and there's stores. They're in the window, but the stores aren't open.
Right, they should be open.
So that kind of synergy,
I agree,
isn't happening. But then you're getting an employee who's going to hang out here till 10 p.m. for the occasional post Randazzo's beach wrap shopper, and that's tough, because then that person's got to either live on the Key or Uber home or drive home or take the bus. And I think that's another problem about how do you get the labor to have the fantasy commercial, vibrantly commercial Key Biscayne that I think we'd all like.
You want to really impulse one of these shopping centers, they should give us a space, storefront, rat radio, get people out there every Monday at 6 or every other Monday. Sometimes on Mondays at 6 o'clock.
It's summer hours.
The place will be banging. I mean, if you own one of these places, talk to us. You want us there. We bring the people. We are the cool vibe over here.
I agree. I think that's a great idea.
Billy
actually
says he'll stay in Miami for that. Like all of us.
I wish.
As long as we get our storefront.
I mean, they should.
It's empty.
Use the empty space. If it's been empty since January, they should be.
Yeah,
once they make a year, they should better think about things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, okay. What else do I have here?
Are we going to talk about
code enforcement, firing everybody, and the whole key becoming privatized and everything?
So, Rafa, you can do whatever you want now. There's no one around.
So, one of the things... okay, let me explain to people what happened. Budget cuts in the village. The first to go, the code enforcement department. They fired basically everybody except for one person.
I think, yeah, one person.
1.5 people. And they're going to outsource all that to a private company, right? Also, I heard one of the people rumored to be taking bribes. But it was a rumor.
Oh, okay.
Like, it was never substantiated, but people reported it like that he was this person was in some things. But I don't know. But I don't think that's why they did it. I'm just telling you. So they get rid of all these people, and so what does this mean for code enforcement? Well, number one, when you outsource your code enforcement, they're going to bust more balls. So that guy with the stupid Homeward Bound thing, the stupid,
but that sign's going down.
That sign's going down.
Well, thankfully, because that sign sucks.
But if you have
Sorry for the bad words.
But wait, what? There's a Homeward... Okay. How about the guy on my block who's painted his tree stump with a funny face?
Probably...
That's been like that forever.
Yeah, I think he's
grandfathered in.
I think he's
man.
grandfathered in.
I don't know.
A couple, they're older people, and they probably don't care.
So when you privatize your code enforcement, they just go by the book. They don't, there's no leeway anymore because there's nobody to leeway.
But doesn't our code enforcement fairly by the book?
No, actually, they're very leeway. They were very, very leeway. Yeah.
Is that a really good thing?
Well, you tell me. People have like a playground in their front lawn. That's not technically allowed. The guy with the Homeward Bound sign, not technically allowed. The guy with that cool little open sign on top of his door that's like lights up at night, not allowed. There's a lot of things that are out there that are just not allowed, and they're going to go after them.
I mean, I'm sort of with this. This is like the speed limit conversation, and a lot of conversations. And do we want to become Carl Gables? But I feel like if that's the rule, then that's the rule, and we need to start changing our rules.
Yes,
and again, that's time consuming as well. But I think that if we start changing the rules to fit the island that we actually have now, as opposed to whenever the anti-neon sign over your door rule was instituted, I think we're governing in a generally better way.
I think it's a curious... I don't know. The thing is, they don't want to open the door. The way it works right now is they don't want to open the door to every stupid thing that you could possibly think of. So they kind of give the leeway.
Painting his tree stump?
Yeah. No, I get it. But I mean, as with a lot of these things, are these... So how confident are you in their leeway calculations? Are these people who live on the key, who kind of get the key vibe? Are they people who are going to give a little more leeway to a certain type of person than another type of person, or give a certain more leeway to a certain kind of infraction? The leeway is fraught with problems as well. If there is sort of uniform enforcement and it's fair, but it's kind of ruthless, I promise you, you live here too, and you've lived here longer than I have. People are going to scream and yell, and
they'll change their ways.
Change. So.
Right, they'll change their ways.
I just think I'm kind of excited to see what comes of it, with this change.
And Austin had a question for, I think, the panel.
What's that?
What's the funniest sign or thing that you've seen on like a door, but that's not allowed for you to have there?
Well,
for a code enforcement, the one that he keeps talking about, the Homeward
Bound one, which isn't
it's not
funny so much as it is like tacky, and
it looks like a Greek restaurant sign.
Yeah.
What is
I think the tree stump's pretty funny.
Yeah, I like
when they dress it up.
I like the tree stump.
Yeah,
it's got personality.
I
think I love, which I'm sure could possibly be forbidden, are those. There are not so many of them anymore, but they're the Marlin house number signs.
Oh yeah,
that were on the some of the original Mackle houses. I mean, that's a scavenger hunt item.
Yeah.
But somebody should reproduce those, and offer them up for sale at
some of these mailboxes
at the key store.
That's cool. That's actually a brilliant idea.
Key rat store.
That's actually a brilliant idea. I like that.
The Rat Radio.
I like
Rat Radio storefront.
Shop and storefront.
Yeah.
Some mailboxes should be taken down. I've seen like a manatee.
The manatee one.
And there was like
off of Harbor.
There's one off of Harbor too. That's like a diver. Have you seen like those old fashioned?
Well, mailbox enforcement would lead to a lot of interesting conversations about who owns the swale.
Right.
So I don't envy the code enforcement person who goes around and starts telling people they can't put their mailbox on the public in the public right of way, or signs telling you not to park there, or little wooden things with rope strung across them.
Right, exactly.
Maybe the Homeward Bound whole rock looking thing that looks like it's plastic and hollow.
It is plastic.
We
and
should
hollow.
move it to in front of that house on Harbor. That looks Greek also.
That's right.
That's what we should do. Is not remove it from the key, is move it from
Put
one
it to
house
the right
the other.
place.
Which, by the way, that house is for sale, I saw recently.
The Greek house.
That's a little trivia. My mom and grandmother were the architects and contractors of that house.
Really?
No way.
Yes.
So I saw pictures.
Key Biscayne trivia.
So I saw
That's an
pictures, and
interesting
it's freaking cool.
It's very cool. The clients.
I've never seen the inside until I saw pictures now, and it's cool.
It's cool inside. The clients had gone to Santorini, came back with pictures,
And they wanted that.
and then that's what they came
There's
up with.
so much outdoor terrace, like rooftop
Yeah.
spaces that are really cool.
That was a long time ago. It was like 90s.
Yeah.
That house was built. So.
But for those of you who've been there longer than I have, so is something like taking an ugly sign from somebody's front yard and in the middle of the night and putting it in somebody else's front yard, is that front yard? Sorry, is that what's is that something that's missing? Also, has that spirit of kind of amusing hooliganism
Well, we
just
laid down
died
on
with
top
all
of
of
it once.
the egging and all that stuff?
It died with the cameras in people's yards, and that can't be,
Right now you
it's
can't
just
do
like-
anything.
Well, we went at like 3 a.m. once and lay all over it and took pictures.
I'm sure
But-
there's.
and
sure
then
there's
We might have peed too. I don't know.
I saw myself staring at a camera like too late. I was like my face was
Oh,
like
no.
right in the camera.
Oh, man.
And
but-
we posed for it because it was just us two, and we had a self timer on the camera. We like put it on top of the roof of the car, made sure it was right. So we took our time, and it was definitely.
But people don't review their cameras unless something goes wrong, you
Right.
know? So
Yeah, or in our case, when we put one up to cut down that ding dong ditch, it never really worked properly. We thought it would have a deterrent effect
Wait,
just
stop
because
what?
it looked like it worked.
stop what?
Ding
ding dong ditch.
Oh, it was happening?
Funny.
Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, the babysitter's home. Everyone's get scared.
How often was this happening?
Look, it was a
happening,
problem.
Like, every single night.
No
And they
way.
were throwing like, you know those like fart bombs or stink bombs? They would put it in front of our door
No.
and slap them, and they would like explode. And when we wake up in the morning
It smelled.
and we go outside to go walk the dogs,
Ugh.
it smelled like a dog just
pooped right there.
pooped everywhere.
Rafa, are you,
Hilarious.
Rafa, are you sure?
And
Isn't your
horrible.
young self reincarnated?
But not like the hard ones, like diarrhea.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know
That
what those
sounds
things
awful.
smell
the
like.
C word.
But I didn't grow up here, so I was kind of like, what? And
Yeah, no.
I went out and chased these kids down like an angry old
Really?
man and yelled
Wow.
at them and called
Oh,
the
Billy.
cops and stuff
What?
like that.
What?
Billy.
Yes. And then I had like frustrating conversations with the policemen where they wouldn't do what
they were like,
They're
let
like,
it go.
whatever.
They were like, let it go.
They're like, look, we go and we find the kids and the parents get all mad at us, and I'm like, well, wait a minute.
Call
like
this
if
other
you're
number.
The parents
like
get
if
mad
you're
at us.
worried about confrontation with an angry parent, you should go into a different line of work
Right,
than being a
exactly.
policeman. But I began to see it in a different way, but in a confused way, which is with like other things at the Key. But then I have my friends who've been here for a long time, and they're like, no, that's part of growing up on the Key. And by the way, we have nothing else for we're not doing enough to entertain
the kids, the young
teenagers
kids.
anyway. So just like calm down. And I
Summertime.
didn't calm down, but I moved. The problem
Yeah,
got a
there
lot
you go.
better.
Summertime is the
So wait, you
the
actually
time.
caught the kids?
Like,
I love this story. You couldn't, instead of catching them, you couldn't like get back at them somehow. Some kind of like bucket mechanism.
I'm an adult.
Some
What
kind
do
of
you mean?
bucket
Get-
that they
get back at
that
them.
you fill the bucket with like
Dog poop.
something, and then it falls on them when they get too close to your house or something.
I
Water
weirdly
guns by the
had
door.
feeling that they were going to have no better sense of humor about something like that than I had about
Chasing them down
what
the
they were
street.
doing.
Really?
Yeah, because I think that thing, which I have heard about, that kind of like ongoing retaliatory toilet papering and
Banter.
stuff of that nature. I don't think this was that.
Okay, all
I
right.
think these were sort of random attacks And they got what they wanted, which is they got me to run out in my pajamas, flashlight, and start.
That's great.
You know, and then,
They probably
and then
videotaped
yelling to
you.
the neighbor across the street, like, "Did they get you to?" You know, I'm calling the police. So you know, we did all that, but
No, Billy.
but
That's hilarious.
Look, that's like a natural. You know, somebody knocking, banging. Also, listen, just on a totally serious note. And we can leave it here. One thing that has concerned me about that a lot is this is the gunshine state.
That's
have
true.
Lots of old people. I don't know how many registered firearms there are in Key Biscayne, but I'm sure there's a fair amount, and maybe some unregistered ones as well. It's not a great idea for your kid to run up to a house of someone they don't know and ring the doorbell or throw eggs at the window or something like that. That's just a bad idea. If we were staying here and anybody saw my son doing that, I definitely want to know about it, even if it was from the police. It's different if I'm coming to your house or something like that. But a kind of random mayhem has a slightly different character and is not the safest thing in the world in the current day.
Oh my God, you are such a fuddy duddy. I cannot believe you, man. Some kids rang on your
I'd
door,
rather
foul,
ring
and
and
you're
ditch,
freaking.
but you know.
Listen, summertime
Oh,
here as
man.
a kid, there'd be ring and ditch. Not
I've
that
had
I'm
the ring
saying
and
it's
ditch.
right, Billy, but these kids would do
And-
that at your
yeah,
house.
of course
toilet
we
paper.
did.
Some of people that I won't name names, but looking right now that they're, I think, a first-time listener, but is a really good friend of mine, would come to the Key. He wasn't even a Key rat. He lives here. He doesn't even live here now, but he did for a while. Would come and they would go to Key Colony and steal bicycles.
Oh, that's not cool.
Oh, yeah, no, not cool, but that's, that's what they would do.
Yeah.
What-
Mischievous.
Yeah,
well,
mischievous.
that's like organized already. That's already like
I know,
teenager
they were
stuff.
these people,
That's
oh
already
my God.
teenager stuff.
Oh, yeah, it was crazy.
I ran
crazy.
some doorbells, man.
Yeah.
Throwing some smoke, some
Stink
Fart
bombs.
some
bombs.
stink
Yeah.
bombs,
Stink
the
bombs.
little glass ones.
There's no firecrackers
Yeah,
going
but
in your
did
mailbox.
you throw it at just like random people, or
Dude,
someone you knew?
I emptied them in people's cars. Okay, like through
Rafa's-
cracked windows.
Austin, don't follow what Rafa's done.
leading
The
citizen.
little
Ignore
yellow
him.
ones that smell like straight sulfur. You know what I'm
Oh.
talking
Follow
about?
Rafa's-
If you can see
Follow
Rafa's face
Rafa.
right now, his like eyes are lit up. He's
He's all
like super
excited.
happy and
No,
excited.
it was horrible. I can't believe myself. But at the same time, it was just mindless.
Look,
like,
I mean, maybe things
like,
have gotten,
oh my God.
gotten less, tougher. People are more sensitive than they used to. But
That's true.
But
Yes.
Austin the other night was at a friend's house, and what happened to Austin?
Can I say it?
Yeah, what happened?
Don't use anybody's name.
Yeah, no names.
I won't. So, my friends came over and got wet toilet paper, threw it at the window. While I was just playing some Minecraft with all my friends, they scared me so bad, and then I fell out of my chair that I was sitting in, and then we ran outside, tried chasing them. They go away, but then they throw it back again. And so my
wet
friend,
toilet paper onto your window, so it's stuck onto your window.
Sticks.
no, I was
We
at a
used to do-
friend's house, so it was on his window.
Okay.
The kids also threw it at the Tesla,
Oh,
I-
not the Tesla.
and it left these little white toilet paper
Yep.
markings.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And when it
But then
dries, it's a
They
pain.
did it a second time again, and then this is what they. Then my friend came out, who is older than me, but I was with my other friend, and so he comes out. He's just like, I swear, if they dig them ditches again, I'm gonna scare them off by pulling out my BB gun,
Oh,
so they
see?
wouldn't keep on ditching us and scaring us.
Okay, so see Rafa scaring
See?
small children. I
Yeah, that's not
hope
cool.
you're proud. I hope you're proud of yourself.
That's not cool. I don't
Your
think scaring
legacy,
small
Look in his
children.
face,
your
looking
legacy
at Rafa.
continues.
Yeah, no scaring of small children. That's not nice.
I don't know.
We used to penny each other's cars. That wasn't cool. That messed up the cars.
What did you used to do?
Throw pennies at each other's cars, like driving down Crandon.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
Well, but it's at each other's cars. That's that. I
random.
maintain
But
that's
are you
a
sure
different. That's a different thing.
that was a random attack? That's the question.
Yeah, it's probably just people the kids in the neighborhood.
Austin just smiled a little bit.
Well, so
It was people that
That-
knew.
my friends knew them.
There you go.
But they go to the same school as my older friends, and so they knew, like, they're like pranksters all over Key
Yeah.
Biscayne. They like with the
Rafa Jr.
stink bombs, And then I just think of Rafa just looking back at him putting
I would just do it to randos.
poppets in like people's cars. I feel like that's way worse.
I agree, Rafa. That was
They
bad.
sit.
Horrible.
No, Rafa. They have one like fill in their chair. You just fill up in their chair. They sit on it. Too many sparks go off. Fire.
There you go, Rafa. Rafa, no more. I'm so glad Rafa outgrew that.
We have a mysterious murderer on the loose. He throws poppets in your car, and then you sit on them and explodes the car.
There you go. You're busted, Rafa. That's great.
Well, I can't wait till it happens to me so I can go outside and be like, hey!
In your underwear.
Yeah, it's one of the many things that happens inevitably as you get older.
Someone throw an egg at me, something, please.
I caught myself screaming at the kids playing soccer in my hallway.
Oh my god.
I was like, kids, I work from home and I'm reading and editing all day. And they kept playing soccer I don't know if it was summer. It was
Right.
clearly kids that didn't live here. They only came once in a while. And I go outside. I'm like, guys, just go downstairs. Like, this is,
Don't
enough.
play in the hallway.
Enough. And they looked at me like I was a crazy old
You're
lady.
like, whatever, old lady.
Whatever, old lady. Go back inside.
We
They
get less
stopped.
patient when we get older. That's the only
I
thing.
know. I'm already zero patience.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on. I think we've beat this one up enough.
Yeah, we did.
Beat the beat.
Don't really have anything else here that's too interesting. It's not like policy stuff that'll be boring right now. So,
Whatevs.
it is Monday, June 17th, 2019. No One's Listening Show, episode 154. And let's move on to openings and closings. The Pita Pocket's expanding.
That's
What?
insane.
Amen. Can't do it soon enough. Yeah.
So,
Pita Pocket's expanding.
But it's already so massive.
I think James Duncan's moving into some new space.
Yeah, he's opened up his space.
That,
Looks great.
That mall looks great.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, his office is bigger, and they're going to have a little store there that's really, I went in there, it's
so that's
really
some
nice.
good retail news, and I'd
Yeah.
certainly say with the real estate analysis, which is interesting, I would also sort it by price, because I've often heard that like what's selling at different price ranges is important. And remember, we have some really expensive real estate on the Key. So
Yeah.
when one place sells for $17 million amidst a fairly small inventory, it distorts the average. So that I think bears some sophisticated statistical analysis that maybe we don't get on WhatsApp.
Okay, so Pita Pocket's expanding, and that's about it for openings and closings that I have here. You said something about Duncan is James Duncan is going to open a store.
He's expanded his office, and wait, you remember the little store there that was next to Starbucks?
Yeah.
So he took over that space, and so it's his office, and he's doing like a little showroom store at the same time. And I went in there Friday. It's not open yet, but it's really nice. It's cool.
And Barbara Silberman, the
Closed.
longtime Key Biscayne
that
lingerie
closed.
lady.
Back
No more.
Yeah.
That kind of stinks because
Is
when
that the
there's
lingerie place?
yeah, when you're in a pickle as a woman, that's where I'd go.
Really? I didn't know if it was closing or not. I'm sad. We passed by it yesterday, and I was like, I wonder if they're remodeling.
No, closing. It's just expensive. It really. That's all. I think that's what it comes down to, honestly. Yep.
Okay, well, that's openings and closings. And then we got the calendar. Do you guys have any calendar? I only have one thing on here. And
Well, the one most important thing is Friday,
What's that?
the surprise party for Billy.
Surprise party.
What's that?
Yeah, for you too, apparently. Surprise! It's a beach bonfire.
Yeah.
I said, hold on.
Talking to the mic, Austin. Talking to the mic.
He's,
Well, you ruined the surprise now.
no, we talked about it earlier.
Billy's the one who sent the invites out. So that's in front of.
Well, I also say, like, by the way, openings and closings. Rafa, congratulations on the candlesticks that you've
Okay.
purchased from my wife as part,
those are
of her
nice.
ongoing, sale of things that included the tree that we just saw being driven by in a golf cart. So
That's great.
Candlesticks.
What else?
A vase,
Candlestick holders.
A vase.
You got a vase for free. I saw
I got
it.
a
My
vase
proper
for
got the
free.
free.
Oh, yeah?
And I bought a breakfast tray, which I gotta
Awesome.
go pick up. I should have asked you to bring it
nice.
for me.
Yeah. So that's a simultaneous opening and closing.
I love it.
is the ongoing
Perfect.
Key Biscayne letting go and cherish and other chats. My
And
wife
Rafa's
selling
apartment-
everything in her house.
Rafa's apartment's pretty much done. You got to just move your stuff in here, Rafa.
I just got to wait till the stupid inspector comes over
that's
here.
going to be an opening.
Yeah,
soon.
but you've got room for a couple other things from my house.
That's right.
Here, I've noticed.
I actually wanted the fig tree.
I want that. I
But
didn't know it was available.
it was out of my budget. I'll
Me
take
too.
a fig seed. I'll take a
wanted
fig
it-
seed and plant
The
my
fig
own.
tree went for
amount of
top
money.
dollar.
Yeah, it went
Yeah,
for
man.
top dollar.
Really?
Yeah.
I wanted it too, and it was over my price range
Yeah.
as well.
But
Rafa, we
it looked
got
pretty
some
good.
more fig trees if you want some.
Yeah, Austin and I are going to the nursery tomorrow and buying 4
Buying
fig
more.
trees for $75
There you
each
go.
and selling them for $250.
That's hilarious. I think that's a good plan.
I think I'll plant my own and have it grow. I saw it was not in direct sunlight, so that's good for this space. Okay. Calendar. 4th of July parade is coming up. Got to hype that up.
Yay.
That's on the 4th of July, 11 a.m.
I'll be here. I'll be back on the 3rd.
Let me explain to everybody. It starts at 11 a.m. You can catch it all over Crandon. We are doing, once again, the, what's this thing called? The homemade contest. So, homemade bike, golf cart, like decorate your bikes, decorate your golf cart, get a, what's it called? A
what's the grand
trailer,
prize?
a wetter, blah, 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 $1,500.
That's
And then a
awesome.
$500 prize also there. If you're halfway creative, please enter at kb4.org, kb, the number 4.org/sign up. Go to the website, whatever. 4th of July parade. Look it up. Key Biscayne, 60 years. 60 years in Key Biscayne, all volunteer run.
Are you guys around, Billy? 4th of July?
No, we're leaving the key on. Alexander and I are going to drive west on I think
Aw.
June 30th. I will say we arrived on Key Biscayne 6 years ago, and I think the first thing we went to was the 4th of July party. Yeah,
So my sister's birthday is on the 4th of July.
Nice.
So we just arrived. We had like just a carpet on the floor, and I have a sleeping bag in my room. We explored the house for like 5 minutes. Then we just hear like everything looks like woo, woo, woo. And then we go outside, and then there's this funny part. These teenagers were like getting water guns, filling them up in the ice, like freezing cold ice water, and like squirting them at like the clowns and everything. But like the manager got super mad at them, and I just remember him coming up to him and just like screaming like, "Don't do that! You're messing
That's-
the thing up!" And
That
then
sounds about right, Austin. And you
and
know
then
what?
everybody
6
was
years
just like
ago?
laughing and having fun. He was just like talking about the whole opposite thing. We're having fun. He's not having fun.
That's right. And Austin, 6 years ago, that could have been Rafa.
5 years later, last 4th of July, we were on. Where were we, Austin?
We're on one of the floats.
Oh,
The
fun.
Yeah.
Calusa Club float.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
With- and who had the squirt guns this time?
We did.
That's right.
And I remember we were just like cruising around too. And like all these kids just run up to us like squirting us. And then I keep on like squirting them back. And then eventually they try hitting me. And then I'm just like, not today. And then I shoot them back at the last moment.
And that was, of course, the last year, the lighthouse, which was an amazing accomplishment of artwork, was just a teeny tiny bit too high for some of the sagging power lines,
Yeah.
which really should be underground.
That's
on Key
right.
Biscayne. So I think we can probably.
I agree
leave
with
it there.
that.
We actually,
No, so we were going past it too, a stoplight. It was red, but we don't care. We run the stoplights these days.
He's
we
a little
don't
rat.
follow the laws. We run the laws.
Oh
There you go.
man.
We're,
Great,
LA, watch
we're getting
out.
just in time.
Water
LA,
guns,
watch
red
out.
lights.
and so then the lighthouse is super tall. We have to turn, and then like just turn onto like we're on the right, and then we go to the left where some parades were going that way. So then they had to stop, and then so when we were going, you remember?
Yes, I'd say Calusa Club and Key Biscayne Lighthouse definitely play by their own rules.
not only did we hit one of the cables and like get caught in it.
No way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I swear.
Yeah.
We also almost got
Electrocuted?
Wait, weren't you up in the lighthouse?
Andy.
No, I don't think. Did I ever go
I
up
think
during
it
the
was
parade?
Brigitte or
I think it was Andy.
Chris was up
Oh,
there.
Chris, I have a picture.
Anyway, it was the most dangerous thing I've ever seen outside of an actual war zone.
Oh my gosh.
But nobody cared, and it was very cool in its own way.
And then
we're definitely going to sorry to miss it.
At the end, we had to like bring it down a little bit so that we could cruise the streets and not hit
How
stuff.
did we do that? I don't remember.
I don't remember exactly how we did it, but we did something.
It
So,
happened.
so with that said, is Calusa Club doing a float this year?
Of course, I don't
I'm so
want to
excited.
give it away, but it's a pretty good one.
I'm so
It's a pretty good
excited.
one. So it'll be
Yay.
fun. Yeah.
Yay.
And if you guys are here, of course, you can hop on.
I'm hopping
I'm
on.
not
You want to
gonna
hop
be
on this
here.
I'm
year?
hopping on. I'm not
I'm not
the
gonna be
seatbelt
here.
anymore. I
All
can do
right.
it.
Because
I'm not gonna be here. I'm leaving next week
That
to
makes
go
me sad.
sleepaway camp for a month.
But that'll be fun.
But I get to be with. I'm gonna have one of my friends with me, and I'm gonna get one of the oars that they give you an oar if you bring like a friend or something.
Ooh,
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, us is bringing a friend from the Key, actually.
Awesome.
Oh, cool.
Maybe we're starting something new.
Interesting.
Sleepaway camp
You
is
guys
the
can
best.
throw-
Best memories of my life.
You can throw them how to
I was
show them how to throw
super
toilet
scared.
paper.
So last year when I was about to go, I was crying. I was so scared.
You were 8? I mean, you
I
were
was
young.
like, no, how old was I? 9, right?
You were young.
Eliminate.
Eight? You were 8.
8 or 9. And so then I'm going there. I'm just like, oh my god. And then my mom is like, okay, here you go. Because I got some deodorant. Because
Oh,
I was smelly. So then
love it.
It's summertime. You need
so then
deodorant.
I'm just like, my mom, I just see everybody there, the counselors. But then my manager for Ennui, which is 9 to 11-year-old, he had to go because his wife was giving birth while he was
Jesus. Okay.
sad face, you left us.
That's
So
hilarious.
then we had to get a new manager, so we were stuck with
Well, this story kind of has it all, but the upshot is that you got there and you.
loved it. Because, no, so when my mom, she's like, okay, these are all your new friends, Austin. Have fun. I'm just like, bye. See you next month. I don't want to be here. I want to be here right now. I want to be here forever.
And what happened at the end?
At the end of
Loved
camp.
it.
Had
At
the
the end of
best
camp,
time.
I say, Mom.
Don't pick me up.
No, that's exactly what I said.
Right.
Except this is
That's
I
what
said.
happens.
So I was supposed to stay for 2 weeks. I go for 4 weeks.
Because the first week is the
Nice.
hardest, but then you get used to it,
Yeah.
and then
I'm
you're
Not gonna lie,
golden.
that happened to me, but I was
Yeah.
15. I didn't want to go, and then I extended it.
You're so
And then-
funny.
but
I started
then-
in 8th grade. I mean,
Yeah.
8-year-old as well. So I feel you. It's awesome.
All right, you guys have anything else before I wrap this one up?
No, wait, we're not finished with camp yet, right?
yeah, we need to talk a little
No, we
bit
just
more.
want to say,
Do you have any topics there that we missed?
No, I
Oh.
think I have so many topics. But
I didn't get into
the big
serious
question
stuff,
was,
but
well, no, this was just, I'll just leave these questions for next week. A lot of times, people on the Key, and they go away for a while, and they come back, and they're like a little different somehow. They're a little changed. So, where are people on Key Biscayne being taken and turned into kind of like Stepford Wives zombies? Which of the? And I have 3 possible suspects. Two of them are obvious: the Pankey Institute, the all cement building behind Winn-Dixie. But one of them, I think, is less obvious, at least to me. Maybe you guys tell me those. Is the second floor of the Chase Bank? What is going on there, man? There's lights at all hours.
really,
Yeah. And also, if you're in the bank, there's no staircase.
So it used to be a bar.
Linda
Yeah.
B.
Hey, what? At the Chase?
Upsta-
I thought that was a purpose-built building.
No, that was
No.
called Linda B's. It was a restaurant bar.
It was a
Linda B.
restaurant first for a long time.
Oh my god. Just
And it had a
imagine.
bar
Boston.
upstairs that you would use for events
Events
really,
and
because they wouldn't have it
birthday
open
event.
all the
Right.
time. And yeah, it's like a little attic type bar. So you're up there, and it's like
How cool!
It was
really
so
cool.
cool. We were
Yeah,
actually
now it's-
lamenting that yesterday, going, "Oh man,
kinda
Linda B.
Yeah.
and the bar."
Yeah.
I kind of just imagine just like you walk up to like a Chase Bank and you're like, hey, where's the bar at? I need to get up there.
There's my ATM card. And then the other question was just, and this is again, is where's the best iguana watching on the Key right now?
Oh,
in your pool.
And I have a theory about that too, but it's a little sad, which is it's the library pond. And I
Yeah.
think it's come at the expense
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
the
turtles,
turtles
which I've
are-
seen fewer of. So
Really?
I definitely want some
me
input
and
on
my
that.
dad we were giving DVDs because we were doing chores that day. We were putting out DVDs into the library. When we were doing it, the DVDs, so we were giving to it. We walked by the pond. I just see like two. No, we
There's
saw
only
like
two
one,
turtles there, and
two.
maybe the turtles don't really belong there either, but there seem to be fewer. But we
Well,
can
it's
say
not
that-
like the iguanas
The
are-
iguanas
you know,
what, are
look,
eating the turtles.
They're not eating
the
them.
iguanas eat the eggs, though. That's what.
Oh.
But I don't really know.
Billy's thinking
There
a
may
little
be
bit
it may be
beyond.
correlation
Yeah.
without causation. But I believe as a writer, I always like to park on the downhill, which is to leave you with something to talk about next week. So as we leave Key Biscayne, we'll leave you with best iguana watching and what's happening with the turtles in front of the library.
Well,
and you
thank you,
can
Billy.
either take up that gem next week or just let it be.
Actually, I have a whole list of topics that you've given me throughout the months or years or however long it's been
That we still need to
that are all
visit?
kind of quirky that we'll talk about when you're gone.
Yeah.
So listen, tune in.
There's
Well-
the bicycle shirts. There's
Yeah.
the left turn signal.
uh,
I've got lots.
The uniforms,
I,
all of it.
Yeah.
Thank you
I
for
still
all
have
of
one
those.
question left.
There were two turtles, by the way, that my daughter used to own that were transplanted to the library pond.
Oh, really?
Yes, Bigfoot and Littlefoot. So I don't know if they
Do you guys
survived
visit
that
them?
or not. But they were a donation to the library.
That's how they get
When we
replenished.
couldn't have them in our house anymore, we put the turtles in the pond.
I
true story.
hope
Nice.
that worked out for them.
Yeah.
Probably been better off in the pond then.
It was, yeah. Well,
All right, well, that's the show. Thank you for listening. Tune in, subscribe, do all that stuff, whatever, social media, blah, blah, blah. And thank you guys all for being here and
course.
putting up with this humidity and stuff like that. And
When are we
I'll
meeting
see you
again?
At, when are we meeting again?
Not next
2
week.
weeks. In
In
2
2
weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
but in 2 weeks, am I here? Whatever, we'll figure it
I'll
out.
figure it out.
I think it's my birthday.
What day is that?
No, your birthday's on the
The second?
25th.
Oh, I won't be here.
Oh. Will you be in Paris?
I'll be gone.
Oui, oui.
Gail Perry.
Yes, but I'll be here on the 3rd, so whenever that is, we'll meet again.
On the 3rd. You get
Of
back
July.
right for it? Awesome.
I did that on purpose.
Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, thank you. Oh, say bye.
Good night, Key Biscayne.
Yeah, there
good
you
night,
go.
Austin.
Perfect. Let's play him out with the jingle. Thank you, Pablo.
Yeah. No one's listening. Show.